Alright you guys, welcome back to another deck list. Today we're going to be going over Cofagrigus. Now this Cofagrigus comes out of Dark Explorers. It's the only usable Cofagrigus, I would say. It's got the sack for a DCE called Chuck. You can discard it for 40 times. You can discard as many tool cards from your hand as you like, and just 40 times the number you discarded. So that's pretty cool, right? Like if you discard 3, that's 120 damage. That's one-shotting a lot of things. You discard 2, that's one-shotting Claydol and Porygon, just for 80 damage there. If you discard more than that, you're one-shotting all the big beefy boys. But yeah, it's a non-EX, has 100 HP too, so the non-EX part about that is really, really awesome. Excuse me. And there's also a lot of other tool-related attackers that kind of go with this. Pretty simple that way, so let's go ahead and take a look. We are playing a 1-1 Cofagrigus line. Before we go to the other attackers, we actually are also playing this 1-1 Primeape line from Fire Red Leaf Green. This has the same exact attack. It's called Toss instead of Chuck because it only does 30 amounts. That would make sense, right? I think Pokemon might have seen this like a Toss versus a Chuck. Chuck's going to do more damage because it's flying faster. Who knows? But it is the same attack. This is fighting typing and free retreat. So if you're trying to hit for weakness, you got this. You get free retreat if you don't need to one-shot something with, I don't know. You got two options. That's what they're there for, It's almost the equivalent of playing a 2-2 Cofagrigus Dark Explorers line if you could have. If U150 wasn't the single format, this is what it would be. Yes, that was a long-winded way of saying it. But there is another 2-2 line that does something similar. This Dark Slowking here from Team Rocket Returns does, you can discard up to 2 from your hand, does 20 plus 30 for each one you discard. So you can do 80 if you discarded 2, which is the same thing as this Cofagrigus over here, but it is only limited to discarding 2. And then this Slowking has an attack that does 20 plus 10 for each tool in your discard pile. So it's kind of cool that some of the Slowkings have this item deal. This ability here searches your deck for one item card as well. So I think that's kind of a cool little combo that the Slowkings actually work fairly well here. This Slowking does get the benefit of all Dark and Psychic typing, so we do play one Dark Claw for this guy, as well as he can take advantage of Dimension Valley. Kind of cool there. And then the only other attacker we're playing is Trubbish because we're playing so many tool cards. Tool drop just kind of makes sense if your tools end up on your Pokemon instead of in the discard pile. This is what you would use. Kind of cool deck. It's got a lot of versatility in the fact that you're either taking knockouts from the hand, or you're taking knockouts from the field, or you're taking knockouts from the discard wherever your tools are. It's got a lot of late game prowess because if you have a lot of tools in your discard pile, Aftermath is going to be shotting things. If you get trump carded, then you're like, okay, that's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and go back to chucking. So it's a kind of cool little strategy. It's a lot better than you would anticipate. It's not it seems like a kind of a weird deck, but it is a lot. Yeah, it is a lot better than one would initially think. Moving on to support Pokemon, there's actually going to be 12 here, rather than the normal 10. And you'll see why here in a second. You are going to play a 2-2 Porygon line, the 1-1, oh boy, the 1-1 Claydol line here, and your standard 4 here, right? Blah 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 blah. But you're actually also going to play this Porygon. It's kind of cool that you actually can play a 3-3 Porygon line here. This Porygon is from Unseen Forces. As often as you like, you may return a tool card attached to one of your Pokemon to your hand. It's the same as modern day Masquerain from Plasma Blast, or the new Weavile that just brings tools back to your hand. So you can attach them all to Trubbish if you need to, but then if you need to chuck them away, you can return them with Porygon 2. It's kind of a cool little combo. But yeah, these are all your support Pokemon. Having a 3-3 Porygon line almost ensures you to get that turn 2 download, where sometimes that's harder. The one extra Porygon really does help, especially for getting it in your starting hand. I don't know what the exact odds are, but it does increase it considerably having that third Porygon. That third Porygon there. Supporters are going to be kind of standard. They're not in alphabetical order this time because I goofed on the initial video, but that's okay. We're going to play an Oracle, a Guzma, a Rosie. So these are way out of order. A Rockets and an N next to each other, just randomly. That happened. That's awesome. Marley's Request. Here are 2 cards that you're not going to see in a lot of decks, but especially in this one, it's obvious that these are going to be included. You're going to have Elisa and Department Store Girl. They both search your deck for 3 tool cards. So essentially, if you have Cofagrigus in play, these are both plus 120 damage, or plus 90 damage with Primeape, or plus 80 damage with Dark Slowking, or plus not plus 80 damage, plus 60. Plus 60 with Slowking, or plus 60 with Trubbish. You know, that's how you can think about those. You're going to have a Juniper, a Karina, Collector, and a Hex, all standard looking stuff. You're going to have an AZ, probably could be a Brimes, to be honest. It actually should in fact be a Brimes because there are no EXs in here, so, and you don't want your stuff getting discarded. So Brimes definitely. Wally, Sycamore, Teammates, Trump Card, and Lysander, and then you're finishing out with some more staple stuff of Ocean Theory, Colress, Bebes, and Copycat. All very standard outside of the Elisa and Department Store Girl, and now that I'm realizing I'm doing this, this should be a Brimes, not an AZ, because you don't play any X's. So it makes sense to keep all of the, like, especially if you have a DCE, your 2 main attackers are DCE reliant, in the form of Primeape and Cofagrigus. So if one gets damaged, you want to be able to heal it and take the DCE back to your hand. You would think, alright? That's how that kind of works. Item cards. We're going to play a Double Gust in this deck. Now, Double Gust is always one of those cards that I want to include in a lot of things, I just never can. And I don't remember why initially I had put this in here, but it's in the list, and this is less of like, hey, here's a good list versus here's the list we used for the tournament. So Double Gust is one of those cards that you can or you don't have to include in a lot of things. You have to use it in combination with a Switch in your hand, a Floatstone in your hand, or like only for retreaters on the bench, just so that it acts as a straight gust for your side. It's a better card than you would anticipate. I think this is a criminally underrated card, personally. Pokédex Handy, Imposter Oak's Invention, Acrobike. You're going to play Acrobike and Pokédex Handy just to kind of burn through your deck a little quicker. Pokemon Communication, Item Finder, and Bill. All this draw support. You're going to have Scoop Up, Super Rod, Lux Ball, Misty's Wrath. Eco Arm is the one that you don't see in a lot of decks, of course. This is going to shuffle 3 tool cards back in. It's good for reusing Chuck, so you don't have to trump card yourself if you either can't or don't want to. Escape Rope, Ultra Ball, you're going to see a VS Seeker, Rescue Stretcher for Recovery. Professor Oak, you're going to have Junk Arm and Level Ball, very standard stuff here. Computer Search, Field Blower, Evo Soda, Pow Pet, and Swoop. All very standard, just a little bit extra draw support in the form of Acrobike and Pokédex Handy. And Bill, you got all 3 of those. You got Double Gust in there, it's weird, and then Acrobike is weird. But everything else, very standard looking U150 items. I would say that this deck doesn't get a little too crazy. Not yet, anyways. It's going to get kind of bonkers here in a sec, and you can see why. Broken Time Space in every single deck that has any evolutions. Like I said, Dimension Valley works with most of your attackers are psychic, so Dimension Valley makes sense. And then Pokemon Contest Hall. What it does is it's flip a coin of heads, search a deck for a basic Pokemon, and then search a deck for a tool and attach it to it. So you have a way of searching out tools on a flip on a stadium. If you have the Porygon 2 that brings it back to your hand, it's just flip a coin of heads, search a deck for a tool card, which is really nice. If you have the Trubbish in play, this is going to add 20 damage. It's going to help out with your Trubbish. So 3 pretty stadiums that you would anticipate to be in here. Now for the item cards. There are 13 item cards. Kind of crazy, or tool cards rather. So I'm just going to go ahead and fan them out so I don't want to talk about each one individually, because a lot of these are just kind of like, oh yeah, duh. There's just like a few that I would want to mention. So it's weird to kind of, the hard part about playing this deck, we're going to get to the crux of the issue. The reason this deck is not super linear to play is because, do I attach the tool or do I chuck the tool, right? Obviously, there are going to be situations where, like, Muscle Band makes sense to attach, Mysterious Shard makes sense to attach, Fluffy Berry, Bursting Balloon, that sort of thing. It's going to make sense to attach. Experience Share is one that's going to be like, you're like, oh man, I really want to like put this on the bench because it's never bad, right? So that's where the issue comes in. Silver Bangle and Choice Band are essentially the same thing. We do that for extra damage. Dark Claw, if you're not attacking with Dark Slowking, can be pitched. Hard Charm can be pitched if you know that they're just going to one-shot you no matter what. Fighting Fury Belt, if you're not attacking with Trubbish, can be pitched. That sort of thing. A lot of these are going to be instantly attached. for the most part, Bursting Balloon can be instantly gotten rid of. It's really easily played around in U150. Two things that you'll notice aren't in here are Jamming Net and Headringer, and those definitely could be in here as like 14th and 15th ones. And that's if you were to be more focused on the Trubbish, because those are going to stay on there. Or if your opponent's not playing any active, they can be just chuck fodder. So just something to consider, that if you wanted to play the two Flare Grunt, or Flare Grunt? No, Flare Tools is what they're called. If you want to play the two Flare Tools, you definitely could consider it. If you wanted to keep it at 13, I think I would chuck, pun intended, I would get rid of Silver Bangle, would probably be one of them. And then maybe Bursting Balloon or Dark Claw if you wanted to play those. But anyways, those are the tools that you're going to play. Nothing too special, since it's mostly just chuck fodder with the occasional attachment in the form of like Floatstone or Muscle Band or Choice Band. Those are probably the ones you're going to attach the most often. For your Elite Four here, plus Dowsing Machine, nothing too special. This is like a deck that I would consider playing. You could consider playing, not that I would, like Life Dew or Rock Guard here, just as like a 14th tool. But I think Dowsing Machine is just too good. And then moving on to your energy lines, you're going to play each of like the double energies here, double rainbow, upper, and double colorless. Your two main attackers use a DCE, so you want to make sure that you can have as consistency as possible with that. And then 9 psychic energies to round out the basic energy count. This is for just because your Slowkings use psychic attachments, and Dimension Valley will help with a couple of weird attacks. But yeah, there's no reason like to play like. You could play like 1 fighting energy for the Primeape if you really wanted to, but it's not worth it. This like satisfies that condition just fine. So yes, that is Cofagrigus. If you have any questions about it, please let me know. Kind of a weirder deck, but it's a lot of fun. So go ahead and give it a test out. Let me know what you think. If not, have a good one.